What a beautiful morning we have today. I'm in Alamo, North Dakota, on the way to Tony Fast's place, Fast Ag, Montana. But first, I gotta drop off some discs here for a farmer in Alamo. These crops look scorched. Tony wasn't kidding, it's been dry out here. Well, the guys here, the rebuild crew under Jesse Rohde, got here a couple hours before me, and they have wasted no time to get going. Good to see you.
Yeah.
So you guys are doing the mid-row banders first, which should be pretty easy, huh?
Yep, what our thought was is if we could, there's no room in the back of this row, if we got these on, boom that one back up.
Then we can get in.
out of the way.
Somehow, Tim and Tony got out of this job. That's why we exist, ready to do that kind of stuff for you. So you can, like Tony and Tim, harvest. Or hang out with your family or go on vacation, whatever you want to do. 108 of these beauties. So why the notch discs? Our customers, they're finding that these notch discs are cutting better. They're not pushing, they're not bulldozing. They're fracturing the sidewall of the soil, and they're just doing a great job. We have struggled to find a condition where these notch discs aren't better than the standard round ones. So if you haven't tried them yet, what's holding you back? So here's an example of the notch disc that's worn out. Tony's got some pretty abrasive soils and rocky stuff, so we'll take that into consideration too. It's all no-till. We'll measure this and see how far off the scraper is on a used one, and then we'll measure a new one and see what it needs to be starting out from new, so that the scrapers don't wear too fast or they don't plug with trash and have a bad performance situation. So we're roughly just under an inch on the trough here to the bottom of the scraper. That's impressive. That means this trough right here hasn't worn that much. Now Bourgault says you need to change the blades when they're 5 inches off the hub. Right now, at the end of our tips, we're at 6 1/4. But these are dull enough where we want to get these off and get them changed out. So we're looking for about an inch from the trough here up to the bottom of the scraper. That's where we want to be for the correct distance that this scraper is up. They've got the specs in the video that Bourgault puts out and in the manual. That's what we determined is going to work for Tony. On a new disc, it's going to wear down some and he'll still be in a sweet spot. How do you feel like it's going?
Good, excellent, better than expected.
Maybe I let it get in my head because I'm not going to rope them into it, but I thought this was going to go a lot worse than it is. Now I did get here late and I am not doing much, but they are doing a lot and it's coming together really fast. So Jesse, how's it feel to run the 715 quad track?
A lot of power at the fingers.
We're lifting the mid-row banders up. That way there's all kinds of access to get to the middle rank. This is not a luxury on other pieces of equipment we've worked on, Deere. Now we can get underneath from the front side, work in the middle rank, unimpeded, and get that one done. So we're making good progress. Got all the front ones installed here on the mid-row banders. Also have the rear ones installed, and I'm adjusting the scrapers on the back rank. And now it's time to take off these ugly round ones for some nice notched ones. What I am gonna do though, is I'm gonna adjust these scrapers from left to right. Let me show you the details. So there's a lot of bolts here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, all connected to the scraper. It does what the name says. It scrapes the disc and it keeps the shadow open, the pocket open for seed to come down this hose, go through the seed tube and shoot right down into the furrow where the disc has opened it, and the scraper is keeping the ground open. So it's critical that that leading edge is flush against the disc, and it's also critical that we've got an inch right here. And in order to adjust that, you adjust these bolts here. And I thought initially that these all three had to be adjusted every time, but once that's set, then really all you need to do is change this big one, and here's why. The big one is what allows this to go up and down. So there's these notches right here, and then there's mating teeth on this mating part, you could say, and when they squeeze together, it's locked in place. There's also little notches here, little settings. There's numbers and notches, little detents into the casting, and that tells you your setting. I've determined about 1 inch from the trough of the disc to the bottom of the scraper is setting 3. So I look at the front, there's a 3 there. It's also 3 ticks up from the bottom. And then the back side, there's also 3 ticks. I make sure that my scraper's level when I have it loose, and then I tighten it down again. Let's see it in practice. So it's a 15/16 socket, and I found that this long handle is really slick because it gives you just enough leverage. And I'm not gonna go all the way. I'm just gonna go until it allows it to drop down just past the notches here. See, there's one. We're on setting 4 or 5 right now. There we go. Now I'm on what I think is 3. There we go, there's 3. So we're in 3 in the front, 3 in the rear. And just double check that here. 3, 3. I check my scraper blade to make sure that's flush. Tighten her up. They do have a spec, I think it's 120 foot-pounds. But you know what, that feels like 120 to me. Simple as that. A helpful tip, as I've gone and done a few rows now, you get this loose, and then you actually grab onto this hose here. It attaches to the scraper, and then you can control the angle of the scraper based on holding right here. Otherwise, you really fight it down here, and it's really tough to adjust and keep it where you want it. Now, if you're wondering, where do I get a sweet, ready jersey shirt like this? FarmFocused.com's got them. Go on FarmFocused, find the Ready brand, go through the page. We've got all kinds of sweet hoodies, tees, hats, and even this jersey. And we're done. We're gonna drop this thing down so you get to see how they went up with it in the reverse because they're coming down. And we're out of here. So in order to lift this thing up on the jack stands, they actually use the hydraulics on the wings to get it up on the jack stands and then get them off again. Works pretty good. Just gotta do stages. You gotta lift, drop the jacks down a little bit, and then you gotta lift again after you adjust your lift height, and then drop the jack stands a couple more times. Seems to work. It's worth it. So we can get under there and work a lot easier, as you saw. Well worth it. So brand new one. 21 is the number. 21. He went from 21 all the way to 19 3/8. That's some pretty good wear there. You can still see there's some wave here, some notch, but they're getting dull. It's time. It's time to get to something like this, where they're a lot sharper, a lot more wave. See the difference between some of these. The mid rows are at about 19 3/4. The seed ones are like 17 inches. Looks like Tony's got some NOS. Goes in engines to make them go faster. Isn't that what it's for? Hit the NOS. It's not every day both crews are in the same area within 15 miles of each other. Turns out our other crew is Larslan, Montana, working on a Bourgault and a John Deere. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
You guys making progress.
Yeah, we got one seed J-tube done and one fertilizer J-tube done.
Okay.
Completely finished. New boots, re-hose, everything's reconnected.
All right. So it looks like we're replacing these. Good reason. Look at that. So here's the new one. From Adam Jet, right?
No, Bourgault.
New point, new wing, new boot. There's the difference. Blockage system's already on here. And then some stainless J-tubes, stainless heads. So a little bit older machine, but what's wrong with it? It's got a lot of life left. Holy moly, that's why we're replacing these. Look how corroded they are. So he's updating his IIS blockage sensors to the new style. This is a perfect example of the difference. Here's the old style, the original. It's a 90-degree sensor, and then here's the new style. We kind of look at it as a 45. It looks like a straight or a little jog, whereas these are noticeably 90. Nothing necessarily wrong with them. I mean, this has been out for, what, 10, 12 years? They just don't flow as good. So they made an improvement, version 2, and that's why we often do these upgrades. And sometimes they do wear out over time too. So we're actually putting some new parallel arms on the planter as well. This is pretty neat. This is the bearing style. Completely eliminates the slop, and the slop is gone for a long time. So if you want some of those, hit us up. We got them. I can smell alfalfa. I just love this place. It's a good smell. All kinds of Bourgauts around here. We've got another one there, 6700 ST cart. Got a couple forage harvesters. Cue the song.
Forage harvester, I'm a forage harvester.
Yes, good song. My kids listen to it all the time. So it's a Bourgault 3320 Paralink hoe drill. And pulling this beauty is another beauty, a versatile 620. And pulling the John Deere is a Challenger MT965E. We got a 43 foot 1895 right here. 10-inch spacing, that means there's 26 mid-row banders. 26 seed rows on this rank, 26 seed rows on this rank. The guys are redoing the main pins. Actually already have. They got new discs. Looks like some hubs. Depth adjusters maybe. There's just been a lot of good parts going into this thing between him and us. We got them taken care of. Stainless steel towers, so that's pretty cool. Those primaries really do a job. What a difference these crops are between here and over where Tony's at. You know why? Because he's got a pivot. There's a lot of irrigated land here, and it's obviously doing a lot better with the water. Yeah, he's gonna get something out of this. Boy, there's a lot of green stuff in here. So the last guy, Boyce there in Larslan, he said he was a referral from Tony Fast, so that's pretty cool. But he said that there was like no rain during all of spring, and then they got 6 inches of rain, and all of a sudden the kochia just took off. The wheat's all stunted and dinky, and the kochia took off. So it's just a disaster to have all these wheat.
Came at the right time.
Yeah, nothing like coming in during a stressful time.
Should turn the auger on.
This is what drought causes.
Oh man. That is spiky, as my kids would say.
We'll try that.
There we go.
Bye-bye!
Yeah, it just ate her up. So what's happening here?
We're combining about the same amount of weeds as we are in Durham. We had weeds on it from last year, so Tony sprayed this a week and a half ago.
Just to try to get it all dead.
Yeah, if it wasn't sprayed, it would be bad.
Yeah. What kind of yield are you getting out of this?
Close to 20.
20?
That's the crop we've cut yet this year.
It doesn't look like 20 to me, but I'm glad you're getting it.
Well, we're cutting 10 to 40.
Oh, okay. So it's all over the board.
There was a guy at a grower meeting. He said, "How much do your fields vary from one end to the yield? 40 bushels." He goes, "You need to work more on your, fertility, or Well, okay, what about the gravel hill that doesn't grow anything versus, the low spot that were all the dirt that was on top of the hill 50 years ago is now down at the bottom. There are some green spots up here.
The green's good?
I got it set from 30 to 8.
34 I saw. That's the best we're gonna get. Well, we did hit a 38.
Yep.
The green spot there in the middle. All right. I mean, I like red for ready, but that's not good color on that screen.
No, crimson is below 8.
Thanks, Warren.
Yep.
Good to see you. On to the next ride. We got the job done.
In like record time, I hear.
Yeah, it was better than I thought.
How much did we wear them in 5,000 to 6,000 acres?
I measured it. It was 21 is new, was it 19 and something like 19 and a half?
Considering how dry we were this spring, that's really not that horrible. Where we have rocky ground, so they chip
Yeah.
pink and wear faster than just dirt that doesn't have rocks in it.
Looks like you did a good job with the weeds.
Oh yeah, we get really good at growing weeds in the drought.
I suppose those things are just hard to control when the timing is wrong and
Well, if you go spray it when they needed to be sprayed the second time, then they were filling heads. Well, you just kill all the heads then.
so you wreck your crop.
That's off label. Yeah, you can't spray that way. Maybe you saw it in that draw. Was that draw cleaner? Like where there's thick
Yeah.
wheat?
Yeah.
So that's crazy how like that wheat will choke out the weeds if it's thick.
Oh.
So that's why like your seeding population is important. You want it to be like thick enough that has an opportunity of thicker, but then like not too thick that at a drought it all just like will shrivel up or be too thin. This is what we need the disc drill for, because getting through this again in the spring is going to be a challenge. It was so bad this spring that we actually had trouble bunching it with the disc drills even.
Really?
In the spring they'll become like just tumbleweeds and they'll roll. So once you run through the drill, you start pushing them, and then the wind blew and blew piles up, and that's what Dad had trouble getting through, was a pot, like that's where they all drifted up.
That was
Basically like
huge.
snow drifts of weeds.
So you need notch discs.
Yeah.
Help keep them turning.
Yep.
But even then, maybe you might have some issues.
Yeah, I don't know.
Looks like we got another issue here. This spin just lock up.
Yeah, they build up on the roller and you can't get that.
Thanks guys for watching. Remember, we exist to help farmers. And if you could use some help from us, we'd sure be ready to do our best to help you keep on farming. God bless. By the way, nice shirt.
Thanks. I put it on just for you today.
Thank you. I have a hoodie for you guys.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, we all
Says
gotta wear
seed.
one hoodie.
Make sure you like and subscribe to keep up on all the fresh content posted weekly, which includes helpful tips and tricks, new products, and various adventures. Also, make sure you check out Reddy's website to shop our performance air seeder solutions.